Thank you. Now, without further ado, as all rallies start, we would like to begin with the Us National Anthem. Roman Chervonohrodsky, an active Ukrainian member of the Ukrainian Houston community, will lead us in singing the Us National Anthem.
Wow.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you so much, Roman. We will also follow the U.S. National Anthem with one that is near and dear to all of our hearts in Ukraine, the Ukrainian National Anthem.
Ще не мерла Україна, ні слава, ні воля. Ще нам, браття українці, увічне доля. Згинуть наші вороженьки, як роса на сонці. Запанує і ми, браття, у своїй сторонці. Soul and body we will lay down to fight for our freedom, and we'll show that we're united in the Cossack nation. Душу тіло ми положим за нашу свободу і покажем, що ми браття козацького роду.
Слава Україні!
Героям слава! Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Слава Україні!
Героям слава! Слава нації! Смерть ворогам!
Thank you so much for that anthem, both anthems. It makes me so proud to be both American and Ukrainian right now. Without further ado, actually this is a little bit of a backstory. Ukraine has had a few consulate generals helping out Ukrainian citizens here in America. It was in Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York. But Texas really desperately needed one, and we did so much work and effort to try and get a consulate general here to represent our businesses and to create lasting relationships economically, socially, culturally with Ukraine here in Houston. Texas, as I mentioned before, is so diverse, and we're just a melting pot of ideas and technologies and all just culture in general. And we wanted to see if we could try to establish a more solid relationship and representation here in Houston. And as we couldn't ask for it, it was so timely. In December, the Consulate General, Ukraine assigned a Consulate General to be open here in Houston in December of 2021. And it couldn't have happened at a better time for us all. I would like to introduce Vitaly Tarasyuk. He is the honorary Consul General of Ukraine here in Houston. He has worked effortlessly, endlessly, just absolutely establishing relationships with different companies here in Houston, making sure that the word spreads and gets out that there is a strong Ukrainian community here, and we love to cooperate to establish commercial relationships with everybody here in Houston, to make sure that we can fortify our community with that of Ukraine, and to spread the word that we are a community that is ready to represent both Houston and Ukraine on the socioeconomic, on the political, on the commercial, economic level, culturally as well. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce Honorary Consul of Ukraine here in Houston, Vitaly Tarasuk.
Dear Ukrainians, dear Houstonians, thank you for being here. I want to thank all of other communities of Houston who are here with us today. You know, the hardest places in hell are reserved for those who remain indifferent and neutral in a time of moral crisis. Thank you for not being indifferent. Thank you for not being neutral. Thank you for being here today with us. As you know, Ukraine is fighting unprovoked Russian aggression for 11 days already. The human toll of victims is going and rising every day. Ordinary civilians, children are being killed, and the number toll is in thousands already, in thousands of ordinary civilians being killed by Putin regime. It has to stop. Ukrainian army and Ukrainian citizens are bravely fighting for their independence, for their territorial integrity, and for the democracy of the whole Europe and of the whole world. We have to be united. We have to support Ukrainians fighting back in our homes by asking our governments globally to shut the skies over Ukraine, protect Ukraine's skies, because Putin's airplanes and missiles are being landed on the civilians every day. Big cities, small villages are being shelled every minute as we speak. We have to ask the governments globally to provide Ukraine with military aircrafts, with the missiles, and to establish a humanitarian area in the skies of Ukraine. We have to make this happen. Ukraine needs this support. We need to be united. More than 1 million Ukrainians left the country and are seeking, mostly children and women, and are seeking refuge in many countries around the world. We have to continue to support Ukraine by providing more military assistance to Ukraine. Ukrainians are willing to fight and ready to fight. More than 100,000 civilians enrolled in territorial defense units across the whole country. They need more weapons to protect their men, women, and elderly. We need to be more active. We need to provide more humanitarian aid and assistance. Here at this rally, at this vigil, we have information available for all those that are willing and ready to help. Please find information how you can help Ukraine now. How can you support Ukrainian military? How can you support Ukrainian people? How you can donate to different charities and support Ukraine now. Don't be indifferent. We have to stop doing business with Russia. We ask the Texas authorities, the Houston authorities, stop doing business with Russia. By doing business with Russia, you support the war in Ukraine. By the refugees, the money you receive from the trade with Russia, they are tinted with the blood of Ukrainian children. We have to stop it. Boycott Russia's trade. Don't trade with Russia's entities globally. Don't buy Russian goods. Be united in defending Ukraine wherever you are. God bless Ukraine. Slava Ukraini! Clear the sky! Clear the sky!
Clear the sky! Clear the sky! Clear the sky! Clear the sky!
Thank you, Honorary Consul. It is very true, and we want a no-fly zone over Ukraine. We understand all the support that we have gotten through these last 11 days, but we know that NATO said no to helping Ukraine with a no-fly zone over their land on Friday. They said that it was not their war to fight, and that's absolutely not true. Because in 2008, Ukraine was ready to join NATO, and it did not happen. 2 countries out of the 30 countries that were part of NATO voted no for a program for membership to NATO. That happened in 2008. We would not be here today if they had let in Ukraine to NATO. We feel that this organization has finally gotten together, unfortunately had to take thousands of lives, Ukrainian lives, to show that we really need NATO to stick together and stick to their guts and stick to the core. And we hope that you all are able to call your senators and your congressmen and tell them, convince them, keep fighting for that. We really need that, guys. We need a no-fly zone. And now we have Honorary Consul Vitaly Tarasyuk again.
We have a statement for support of Ukraine on behalf of Senator Ted Cruz, and his chief of staff will deliver the information to you.
Thank you, Vitaly. It's great to be here today and stand in support of our friend and ally, Ukraine. I have a statement that Senator Cruz issued yesterday after he spoke with President Zelensky. The Ukrainian people and President Zelensky are showing the world what a free country looks like when fighting for its survival against totalitarian aggression, even at overwhelming odds. We have all been moved by their bravery and heroism. It is incumbent upon the United States to ensure that our Ukrainian allies have what they need to defend themselves and that Putin does not have resources he needs to fund his war machine. President Zelensky told us his top priority is that the Ukrainians need to take back their skies, which are being used by Putin to wage war against cities and murder civilians. The United States and our allies should move immediately to provide them, above all else, with fighter jets and assets like Stingers and other anti-aircraft assets. We must also continue supplying them with additional lethal aid, especially javelins. Democrats in the Senate need to end their delays, and the Biden administration needs to cease withholding actionable intelligence from Kyiv. Meanwhile, the United States should immediately implement an oil and gas embargo on Russia. If the Biden administration won't do so, Congress should mandate it. As President Zelensky told us, boycotting Russian oil and gas would be the most potent sanctions we can impose by far, and is also the only economic sanctions that can quickly affect Russia's ability to continue financing its aggression. In the coming days, Congress will focus on aid to Ukraine. We should consider a standalone Ukraine military aid package to get them the assistance they need as quickly as possible. Ukraine, its people, and its leaders will not survive if we settle for half measures and delay. We stand with Ukraine.
Yes!
Thank you for those words, and again, we really, really want you to reach out to your congressman. It means so much, not emailing, not writing them letters, actually giving them phone calls, because they understand that they need to listen to their voters. They want to talk to you guys. They want to understand what is important for you. I'd like to, again, thank the communities here of Houston for helping us organize this. And one of the big communities that said, hey, let's do something today. Let's, stand up in front of City Hall and let's really show that we are a united city and we are united for Ukraine. And not only do we stand for Ukraine, but we stand up for Ukraine. And that community is the Vietnamese community. And special thank you for them all. And we would like to introduce Jimmy Nguyen to say a few words and perhaps sing a song. Jimmy, come on now. Come on.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone. This was supposed to be a peace rally, but my heart is burning since last Wednesday night I want peace. Do we want peace? And first of all, I forgot, dear Consul General Vitaly and the Ukrainian American, it touches my heart very much because I'm just here, a little man, an individual in the Vietnamese community. We've been here in Texas since the late 70s, not because of our choice, ladies and gentlemen, because of war, because of some evil man planned to take over another country and take away their independence. That man is Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam. He came down and invaded our freedom, democracy country, and that ended up we have millions of Vietnamese to become refugees. So when I saw the war in Ukraine, what I see is my country 47, 48 years ago. The suffering of life that will cause because of the evilness of man. So I say, you know what? I can't do anything. I'm not a warrior, but I want to go and support and stand with the Ukrainian people. And the Ukrainian people, thank you so much for welcoming me, teaching me your culture, teaching me your way. So I come and I just be here, and I'm very happy that I call out. And VidTV Network will say, Jimmy, if you want to do it, let's do it. We should join them. And they dedicated a lot of their media time, their TV, their radio, just to get the Vietnamese people involved. So how many Vietnamese people here today? And I want to say thank you to the Taiwanese American, yeah. Thank you so much, our friendship, because we all suffer through war and we all suffer to some type of tyranny that picking on ourselves. And my heart broke every single time I turn on the TV. I have not watched the news because all I see is pain. All I see is family shattered. My family has 10 people, but my brother and sister, because of war, my brother and sister have never sat together in one room in our life. Never. Until my dad died. That's because of war. And that's what I see in Ukraine. So whatever you do, whatever you can do, pray. You can give. If you can speak. If you can vote, please vote. Because that is something that we all can do. And I beg everyone, and thank you so much for other community that I have not mentioned to come out. May I have a few minutes to talk to the Vietnamese people? Kính thưa quý vị, Jimmy Nguyễn đến đây để mà cộng tác giúp cho những người Ukraine đã đến cái nước này, và họ cũng cho nói đó là cái tổng lãnh sự của họ đã mới mở hồi tháng 12 cho nên cái dân của họ rất là ít, cho nên họ cần cái sự giúp đỡ của chúng ta, và chúng ta nên và cần phải đến đây là tại vì cái nước của họ đang bị hiện tại bây giờ là đang bị giống như là nước Việt Nam của mình 47 năm trước đây, thì gia đình của họ sẽ bị tan nát, con cái sẽ không còn cha mẹ, anh chị em không còn nhau là tại vì chiến tranh. Thì chúng ta đến đây, cộng đồng người Việt cũng như là cộng đồng người Hoa, người Ukraine, người Georgian, tất cả đây để mình nêu lên một tiếng nói là chúng ta ủng hộ Ukraine, ủng hộ tự do, và thấy cái điều mà Ukraine làm là không có đúng, Liên Xô, Nga làm là không có đúng, và chúng ta binh vực luôn luôn vĩnh viễn, cho nên nước Việt Nam của chúng ta hãy luôn luôn ủng hộ tự do. Thank you. We stand with Ukraine, the Vietnamese community. Thank you so much.